Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Please excuse my voice. I'm still not up to par yet. What we're going to be talking about today is contingency plans and doomsday bunkers. The the United States government has contingency plans in place for the continuity of government in case of an unexpected attack or emergency. And it has been confirmed that the government has plans in place for these doomsday bunkers. It's so nice to know that they can afford to do these things while we, the peons, the useless eaters, can barely afford to put food on our own table. Yeah, it's so sweet of them. So, you probably always wondered, I know I always did, does the government really have plans for all of these things? And sure enough, we do. And there are these things, these series, locations around the country, a lot of them built during the Cold War. And they were made to survive various different doomsday scenarios. So, one of the things that the government does on a fairly regular basis is a continuity of government or a continuity of operations, planning, and exercises. So, at this one location, okay, there's a giant metal blast door that opens up. It's like, what? And it opens up in the side of a mountain, okay? And you go inside, and it's like cool, dark, damp tunnel, right? Somewhere that you just want to spend the rest of your life, I guess you could say. And there's moisture on the walls. It's just wonderful for your complexion from rainwater that trickles down hundreds and hundreds of feet above. And people drive around on golf carts, basically going around this like underground city. And then when you get there, there's office spaces and living quarters, and there's computer systems and video monitors, kind of like monitoring things all over the country. Yeah. So, they can keep track of what the hell you're doing from down there up here. Yeah, it's wonderful. So, anything you could possibly imagine to be able to respond to one of these disaster scenarios or an attack or anything like that is at their fingertips down there, literally. And also anything that you would need to live for like an extended period of time. And then there was even a made to order like grill with like a full staff and full kitchen and everything where you could order like hamburgers and hot dogs and pizza. Yeah, things that we can't even afford to do up here. They've got it down there at their disposal. So anything you could possibly imagine to try and have like a resemblance of a normal life under such scenarios. While we'll be up here, you know, trying to grasp for fresh air, they're going to be eating pizza and probably Dove chocolate ice cream bars. Yeah. So it's basically prepping on a whole nother level, like an unimaginable level of prepping is going on down there. But there are staffers in the US government who every single day go to these various locations around the country. And they basically stay prepared 24/7 for any potential eventuality of a lot of these locations. And they haven't been like activated in like decades. I'll say that. And the one that I just talked about has not been activated since 9/11. And they don't get used very often by people that are there at the top levels of national security bureaucracy. But there are people there every single day that go there just to like work. And there's certainly contingency planning for continuity of government. And there's a warning that makes sure that no matter what happens, that there's a way for our government to continue functioning and getting as quickly as you could, like essential services back online and being able to respond militarily if need be. So there are these locations kind of like scattered all over the country. Some of them within like a quick flight or even like a really quick drive in some cases from like the seat of the power in DC, and others who are spread out in other places around the country. So there's a scenario that is the most worrisome, and it's called bolt out of the blue attack, which was an attack that came out of the clear blue sky. This is not a kind of slow escalation that is like out of the clear blue sky. One day, some unstable regime around the country or something is stolen or taken over by the elements inside of a rogue government, so to speak, launches an attack. No, that's a bolt out of the blue attack. And that's the scariest scenario of all, because there may be, like, I've talked about this before. It's the 6-minute window between the president finding out that we're under attack and having to make a decision on what to do in the event of such an attack. And that's where a nuclear football comes into play. Okay. So then there's this idea. There's this idea that there's a giant red button inside of there, that you crack open the glass, and then there's this thing that opens up and you just push the button and you turn another country into the world's largest parking lot. That's not how it really happens. The first and foremost purpose is to verify the president's identity, whether he can do it himself or not. Okay. So everywhere the president goes, he carries with him a laminated card. Okay. And it's called the biscuit. Yes. And shut up, because I know what you're going to say. So, and it has what is called gold codes on it. And those codes are built to verify the president's identity, and they change constantly. Okay. So in the event of a kind of like worst case scenario and the nuclear football is cracked open, communications are opened up to the National Military Command Center. And the first thing that happens is you have to verify that it is indeed the President of the United States. And that's what those gold codes are for. Okay. So I wanted to bring this to your guys' attention, okay, because I know that a lot of people always had like these crazy like conspiracy theories about all like the tunnels underneath and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, all the recalls that we're constantly saying, which I still do believe that that's where all the recalls are going. So yes, they do have doomsday bunkers. Yes, they do have contingency plans. And it's so nice to know that we're not involved in any of it, you know. It'd be nice, but, you know, do you really want to live out your last days with Nancy Pelosi? I didn't think so. You know what I mean? Anyways, okay, so that's all I got for you guys. Okay, I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less. Ciao.